And all fight fans, here we go for our next attraction of the evening. And it's scheduled for 8 rounds in the super flyweight division. We introduce to you first, ready to make his ring walk, representando Managua, Nicaragua. Here is Ernesto, el Destructor Irias.
Jeremiah Gallegos calling our next fighter. He's one of, actually in my opinion, he's the best in-ring announcer in the game. I love working with Jeremiah, such a pro. We've got our next fighter coming to the ring. It's gonna be Bui versus Irias. And out of that blue corner, it's gonna be Ernesto Irias. Looking like he's getting comfortable in the ring. He's 28 years old, trains out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at Beat to Sleep.
What a great gym name.
Yeah.
Nothing like walking into a gym called Beat to Sleep. And
Beat to Sleep. Right now we're gonna throw it to Jeremiah Gallegos to find out who is his opponent.
And all fight fans, ready to make his way into the ring, hailing from Houston, Texas, Ephraim the Effect Bui.
Houston's own Ephraim Bui making his way to the ring. I have a feeling this is going to be a fun fight. This is going to be a fun fight right now.
Absolutely. Ernesto Irias is definitely very experienced, being 15-8-1. He's got a ton of fight experience. Ephraim has had a perfect career so far, 7-0.
This is a big turning point in his career.
Houston versus...
Yeah, it seems like this is a pretty big step up for him.
Oh, yeah. And this is an 8-round fight. It's going to be our first fight that is scheduled for 8 rounds.
Which, again, we were talking about earlier. The longer the fights are, the more of a battle of attrition it is, right?
Right.
In those later rounds, it really is about the mental mindset. You know, also your conditioning, of course, but yeah, the experience can really help you extend in those later rounds.
All right.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live on Clear Live Media Pay-Per-View, Fight Night. And it's all being presented by Bud Light Fight Night PS4 Series, next professional boxing contest. And it's scheduled for 8 rounds in the super flyweight division. And it's sponsored by New Me Hair Restoration. The 3 judges scoring this contest at ringside are Alex Leon, Randy Russell, and Dr. Kelly Isaac, and the referee in charge of the action at the sound of the bell, James Green. Introducing to you first, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner here tonight, standing with trainer L.J. Morvant, assisted by Jorge Espinosa. Wearing black with white, he officially weighed in 114.6 pounds. In 24 professional contests, his record consists of 15 victories, 9 wins by way of knockout, 8 defeats with 1 draw. Representando Managua, Nicaragua, and living and training in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, here is Ernesto, the Destroyer, the Destructor, Irias. His opponent tonight, fighting out of the red corner, standing with trainer Latravia Pierce, Creed Fountain Jr., and Mike Hodges, also his team from Next Fight Up, Joe Verneveld, and Forrest Washington. Wearing black with gold, he officially weighed in 114.9 pounds. Tonight, this young sensation enters his contest perfect. 7 bouts, 7 victories, 7 wins by way of knockout, no defeats. Representing the Space City, Houston, Texas, here is the undefeated Ephraim the Effect Bui.
Man, touch them up, back to your corners.
Referee James Green's making sure both fighters are ready. It's an 8-round fight. Irias versus Bui on the Bud Light Fight Night. Here we go, round 1.
Yeah. Ooh, big left hand right away from Bui. Huge overhand from Irias, countered right away from Bui.
So he caught him on the side of the
The
head there.
exciting thing about these guys is the cardio usually isn't a problem.
Yeah, not at all.
Wow. They're
Another
throwing
big
hands early.
Yeah, another big left hand from Bui. The
These are
one thing I had on my notes for Bui after watching his videos was shot selection. You know, being a little shorter of a guy, he does have to close some distance in order to find his shots. But once he gets in there, he's really good at changing levels up, down, you know, left, right, and kind of just mixing things up, feinting his way into range.
He loves throwing those little soft touches.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see, and then he feints into it and he comes across with the other hand.
Oh, it looks like he's got Irias hurt already. Big left hands. Irias using some good head movement on the fence, loading up on his counters, so.
You know, when we had the chance to talk to Bui at weigh-ins, he said with God's favor, it's going to be a first-round knockout. So that's what he's coming out swinging for, and you can kind of tell, at least right now.
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. I mean, he's hurt Irias several times already.
Just got him stumbling over his feet right now. Even his jabs are snapping his head back, so.
Oh,
Huge
big
body
body
shot.
shot.
Fires back with some of his own.
Irias is very awkward, and I think that, you know, it can be kind of deceptive because you're like, oh, well, how can that be effective? But it's, you know, he has so much experience.
The
that,
volume difference here is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bui's swinging with intentions, kind of making Irias look silly in some situations just like that.
He looks tired now.
Yeah.
He's hurt.
Right, and that's what big shots do to you. He's taking a lot of those on the side of the ear.
Yep.
In this Orthodox versus Southpaw matchup, there's a lot of space on that lead side, or on the open side, and Bui is taking advantage of that. He's kind of slipping to that side and then coming over the top with that left hand. I don't think he's missed yet on Irias with those lefts.
What does Irias need to do? What does he need to do right now?
I don't.
He need to calm down and settle in, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, build his combinations. Maybe walk Bui down instead of backing up so much. You know, he doesn't seem very comfortable off his back foot, so maybe he needs to go more on the front foot. But
yeah,
to be honest, I think this is a pretty big mismatch as far as skill sets are concerned. He obviously has the experience advantage, so maybe if he can take it into the later rounds, that might pay off. But
yeah, 15-8-1. I mean, that's a lot of fights.
yeah, and it's a surprisingly not very upside-down record either. You know, a lot of boxers, once they start losing, they become journeymen. Their records get very upside down. He has more wins than he has losses, so.
Yeah. You know, Bui is 7-0, fighting in the hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah, his skill level does not equate to a 7-0 fighter, that's for sure.
No, he looks better than that for sure. You know, another thing Irias could do is start going to the body more. He did towards the end of that round start to go to the body. This is an 8-round fight, so maybe towards the end of those later rounds he can start, you know, use that experience and hopefully start taking over the fight. But Bui seems totally in control at this point.
The speed of his combos are crazy. You almost can't even counter him.
Yeah, exactly. Using good head movement once he's on the inside. I agree.
Yeah, it wasn't very long into that first round that you could see that Irias looked like he was hurt. You could tell, you could see it on his face, his body language, and Bui started throwing, I mean, a little bit more and settled in. But here we go, it's round number 2.
Well, I think what's really, really hurting him more than anything is, and this is just his boxing style, is when he does tend to throw straight punches, jabs or crosses, he gets way out of position and kind of overextends himself. And if you're a good boxer, you can slip off and take advantage, just like Bui did right there. Bui's also using good footwork. He's cutting angles. I did notice in the fights.
Those body shots.
Beautiful combination. Three lead hands there. Kind of a shovel uppercut into a hook. The referee gives Irias a little warning about back to the head.
And James Green, he's right on top of it.
You can tell those body shots are hurting now because you can just tell by the way he's standing, he's backing up.
Oh yeah, both these guys are trying to hit the body, but you have the referee saying, "Hey, make sure you keep the punches up. Don't hit too low."
I think what I'd like to see from Bui is,
there you go,
is to try to get Irias extended on one of these combinations. Like, he's doing a really good job closing the distance down, landing his own combinations. But if he can get Irias overextended on one of these shots and just run him into a good counter, I think that is how he's going to, like he said, get that knockout.
One thing, it looks like Irias is starting to wear it a little bit on his face. You can see some of those marks, even on his body. And if you get marked up easy, that goes into the judges' eyes. They have to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's never a good look. I mean, just from sitting on the outside, when you see somebody all cut up and have bruised, doesn't look like he won the fight, even if he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, big shot there from Bui. Looked like it stumbled Irias there for a minute.
The composure of Bui is just he's that of somebody with 30 fights.
Yeah, he seems very calm in there. He doesn't seem too worried about the power coming back his way.
Man, just kind of swinging wildly. Irias is kind of just swinging overhand, underhand.
Yeah, I think at this point he's thinking he's got to land anything he can. He's going to try to make it a dogfight and become unorthodox.
I mean, some of them are landing.
Because he's landed some good shots. You can see the bruising on Bui's face.
And this is kind of what I was talking about at the end of that round is that Irias can keep working the body and use that experience over the course of those later rounds. Bui is leaving himself a little bit susceptible in that middle range. Like, he's doing really good all the way in and all the way out. But when he kind of steps in that middle range, his hands are a little low and he is susceptible to some counters. Nothing that's like hurt him so far.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. If Irias can do this and keep adding this up over the course of several rounds, he can slow Bui down and then maybe take over in the later rounds. See, this is what I don't want to see from Bui.
Right.
Bui should not stand in the middle and just trade shots. That was not a good ending to that round for Bui.
That's going to do it for round number 2. But yeah, I have to agree. I was going to ask you about that. That seems like that's the fight that Irias would want, where he could maybe catch him.
Exactly. He wants to. We were talking about this earlier. Brawl the boxer, box the brawler, right? Irias wants this to be a brawl. Ephraim needs to keep this as a boxing fight. And as long as he can do that, he'll dominate. But when he starts inviting those exchanges back and forth, it's just slowly chipping away at his cardio. It's slowly chipping away at his chin. So
it could be an experience thing too. I think that we're starting to see his experience come out in this fight.
Exactly.
He's getting caught into a brawl, and he was dominating the fight until that last 30 seconds.
Well, and like we said, Irias, even though he has 8 losses on his record, he's got 15 wins. So it's not like he doesn't know how to win fights. I don't know any boxing coach that would say, oh yeah, that's really crisp, technical boxing. But that's kind of the beautiful thing about combat sports in general is it's not always about who's the more technical fighter. Sometimes it's just about who wants it more.
Who's got the better game plan?
Round 3 is now underway.
The mental, it's a huge part of it. I think we're going to see Bui kind of become back a little bit more technical now. You see him circling away from that power hand.
Exactly, staying all the way out or all the way in, right?
I'm sure
right now he's on the outside, picking those body shots. That's what he needs to do.
That looks much better from Bui.
Yeah.
When you hear that clap, clapper, Colin, what do you think about that? I mean, that kind of made me like, hey, I need to get this finished. I need to win this round, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Irias landing some huge shots there on Bui.
That's the fight he wants.
Bui took him, but
You
kind
can
of
tell
just,
by the way his feet are moving. It definitely stunned him.
he's trying to get it back, you know?
Right. Working the body.
You see, it's that middle range that's causing Bui problems, right? It's not when he's in, it's not when he's out. It's in that middle range, and Ephraim's just swinging his arms and causing car crashes. Excuse me, Ernesto.
See,
Yeah, definitely. The car crash is not playing in favor of Bui.
No.
referee James Green is separating the fighters, having some communication with
Looks
With
like
the
a
corner,
mouthpiece
Bui.
fell out.
making sure everybody is good, set, ready to go. And here we go. We're back to the action. These combinations are beautiful. Whenever he does throw them, I mean they're a work of art.
Yeah, he
Nice
definitely
slip.
looks like he was putting on a technical masterpiece until he got into the the street fight.
The brawl.
Well, and this is why you build your fighters, right? You have them fight guys that have certain style matchups that they probably have an advantage in, and each fight you go back, you kind of work on those little errors. This was actually something I saw in some of his previous fights. I think his other previous opponents were not as experienced as Irias, and so they weren't as able to take as much of an advantage as Irias has so far. But Bui's starting to get back into his rhythm. He's starting to find his range again and just kind of pick his shots instead of starting to stand and brawl with the guy.
Yeah, he's trying to keep that good range. He even just pushed off. I know Irias early. He got too close. He just straight pushed him. Watch the back of the head right there.
Yeah,
Some
and
more instructions.
I guarantee Bui's corner told him in between rounds, stop brawling with this kid. Start boxing him.
Oh, for sure. I mean, brawling only lasts so long. You know,
Right.
You're going to get a lot more tired.
Right, and this is an 8-round fight.
100%.
Exactly.
And that's where you see some of that experience coming back on Bui.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Irias can use that experience over the course of the 8 rounds, right?
And it's got to be easy to get involved with that brawl just because you hear the crowd start going and
Right.
you think you might get that finish, but you don't want to be the one on the opposite end of it. So
Well, and these guys are boxers, but at the end of the day, they're fighters, right? You get hit with something, and something about your ego just, doesn't want you to let them get one over on you. So you want to get it back, right? Very common. Nice short right hook there.
There goes the clapper again. We'll see
from
who.
Bui.
both guys kind of dropping hands when they're in real low.
Well, Bui's starting to load up from the outside. That's not what you want to see. Again,
Ooh.
another
It creates a
round.
big opening for
Another round that ended in a brawl.
Absolutely.
And we're 3 rounds in, and absolutely Bui is ahead on the scorecards. Like, there's no question about that. But what happens in round 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right?
Yeah.
Because he looks tired at this point.
He's starting to slow down a little bit. He doesn't look as crisp as he did in the first round.
And I think we have to give credit to Irias for forcing that dogfight over and over. It's at least in segments of each round.
And,
No,
the more he can do it, the more his experience is going to take over in this fight.
Yeah, you could see him come away with a win in this if he continues to do that.
Exactly.
It's the Bud Light Fight Night, Paradigm Combat Sports 4. It's in collaboration with Next Fight Up, live right here on Clear Life Media. This is the 4th fight of the night. It's an 8-round bout. Ephraim Bui versus Ernesto Irias. Again, live on Clear Life Media if you're watching. Text a friend, call a friend, tell them to tune in. We have a lot more action. The main card is still coming up next. Referee James Green about to get the action underway. Here we go. One thing that's interesting is James Green has had to give both fighters instructions saying, hey, keep it up. Don't hit the back of the head. I mean, that's something, they could come into play with points or the judges' decisions.
Absolutely. Especially if a point does end up getting deducted, right?
Bui kind of dips his head when he's coming out of that clinch, and that might be bad for him if he gets, well, there he goes, lands a shot right there. Looks like he's finding his footing again.
Well, he's been starting these rounds really strong.
Yes.
Staying crisp. It's like he comes back to his corner. His corner gets him right back in the right frame of mind. He starts boxing again like he's doing right now. He's just picking his shots. But then it's like, as soon as Irias lands a good shot, Bui's like, nuh-uh, I got to get this back.
Yeah.
And then he starts brawling. And again, in that middle range where Irias is the much longer fighter, so.
And both of these guys have incredible chins, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Irias is just trying to work the body of these huge, wailing low shots.
This is really interesting because that was the first time I've seen Bui actually backed up all the way to the ropes, right?
Right.
Irias was kind of on the back foot the first 2 rounds, and when Bui is on his game, he's backing Irias up. But Irias is starting to creep forward and starting to put Bui on those ropes. It's starting to get a little bit more dangerous. Again, Bui is obviously way ahead in this fight, but
this could be a big momentum change, you know, where that experience from Irias really takes over.
We're in the mid-range right now. It looks like somebody's going to get a warning or maybe even a point deduction.
Looks like it for the back of the head. It's Irias.
Wow.
And we just talked about that. I mean, that's huge, especially whenever you may not be winning on the judges' scorecards already.
Right. It was kind of an interesting choice there from the referee. I'm not sure exactly why he keeps saying that, because he's right. Bui is ducking into these shots.
It does it again. Yeah, when he steps back, he dips his head to the left every time, and he sometimes gets almost.
They're trading shots, just trading shots right now.
He gets caught from the left and the right because he doesn't put his hands back up when he comes up either.
Yeah, Bui's shot selection is really high level. But one thing he's lacking a little bit is defensive awareness, especially on the entry and the exits of his combinations, right? He's kind of either getting caught on the way in or the way out. When he's in and he's landing, he's basically just picking his shots, but...
Right, this is probably going to be a huge moment of growth for him.
Yeah, hopefully he takes a lot from this fight and he can grow as a fighter.
Here goes the clapper. 10 seconds left in this round.
In these shots.
Yeah, nice left hand.
Oh, big shot.
We took a right hand right on the chin, kind of stumbled him, and then caught a nice left hook right behind it. So.
Do you think he stumbled him, or do you think he was just tired from the brawls?
It was probably one of those shots where you're coming forward, you get caught, you don't see it, so it kind of it blinds you for a split second, and you probably trip. It's probably not really a shot that knocked him off balance, but.
Irias looked really good that round, but then he got that point deduction.
Right.
Yeah, look, I don't know that Ernesto is going to win a decision in this fight, but again, I think Bui is definitely starting to slow down. His punches are not coming as crisp as they were earlier in the fight, and again, if Ernesto can just kind of cause a lot of those flurries and just keep stepping forward and keep pressuring and hitting the body and hitting the head, he could eventually wear Bui down. So
he's got to get a knockdown to get that point back, though.
Oh yeah.
His best bet is just keep doing what he's doing, going for the finish. I think he's definitely moved the momentum a little bit.
I would agree with that for sure.
Round 5 is now underway.
Ooh.
Big shot.
Oh, interesting.
Boy, swinging.
Ernesto seems to have switched stances.
Like you said, Colin, he comes out and looks good at the beginning of every round. And then
yeah. You mean Bui? And then
yes.
He starts brawling.
See that switches in the stance. Irias' coaches and his corner must have told him something, or maybe something else happened.
You can tell how tired these guys are. I mean, they're walking forward with their hands down now after every time they throw a couple punches.
Oh, big left hand, 2 big left hands from Bui and a right hook behind it.
He's got him hurt.
Irias is hurt.
He's going to put him back on the ropes here. Good footwork.
This is where that shot selection can really pay off for Bui. See, that wasn't what he wanted. He did not want to tie up.
Right.
Irias is going to slow this fight down.
He should have looked to finish it right there.
He had him hurt.
Should have feinted his way in, right? Feint your way in, and then start your combinations. I love to hit guys to the body when they're hurt. So gets those hands dropped, and then you can go back up to the head and really go for the finish. See, Bui's just using his defense and his footwork right now. He's tired. Nice short right hook there, but again, he's slowing down.
Irias is still throwing, but he looks like you could see it in his face too. He looks tired.
He looks tired, but again, these awkward guys, man, like sometimes they just look like that. That's just their style. Like he looked tired in the first round to me, so
So that's my secret. I'm always tired.
He swings. Yeah,
exactly, right? But he's throwing 100% into every one of his big 100%. Shots.
Yeah, he's putting everything he's got into. There he goes. Doesn't cover his head again.
And again, he's working that body.
Huge test for Bui.
Yeah, I think he's going to learn a lot from this fight. I think he's going to learn to manage range a little bit better.
Swinging with his entire body.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to look for the knockout shot, you know? Like I said, his shot selection's way better.
No, I mean, he just landed a clean uppercut hook.
There's a nice left hand, little dip out to the side. He's got 30 seconds left in this round.
You could definitely tell in his young career, he has a lot of the right habits instilled within his game plan.
Yeah, still a lot he could work on for sure, but
sure.
But overall, you know,
7-0 is just still such an early record for him.
right.
10 seconds left in the round.
Good fundamentals, good shot selection, good combos.
Just swinging.
He looks tired, man.
Irias just swinging.
Oh.
You know, honestly, I don't think he heard the bell there.
I agree. I don't think that was really on him. Yeah.
You know, this is going into some of the deeper rounds here. You know, the who's more tired is going to come into play. You know, this right now the fight seems to be, you know, Bui seems to be winning the fight, but Irias is just throwing. He's throwing these body shots.
And when you're in this type of fight, you know, a lot of fighters talk about catching a second wind, right? Like,
yeah.
Because it's almost unnatural for you not to slow down a little bit, at least, you know, once you start to hit that 4th, 5th, 6th round. But Bui definitely needs to find his second rhythm, or find his second win, because he's slowing down quite a bit right now.
Ready? Referee James Green looking to get both fighters ready, make sure that the commission and the corners are out. And here we go. The round is underway. My name's Cardi Garcia. I'm joined by Colin Wright. And we're now also joined by Mr. Leroy Fountain.
How you doing, Coach?
Leroy, how you doing? What are you seeing so far? How you feeling?
I'm great. I was in the back getting dressed after
big win for Stan Johnson.
Huge win for Stanley. Yeah, thank God.
Yes, sir.
I know a lot. I know Boy's father. Boy's father speak really good of Boy. So, how's the fight looking so far, guys?
Well, Bui is by far the superior technical fighter, but he's been caught in a few brawls in the last couple of rounds. You know, early in the fight, he was doing a really good job of choosing his shots and picking his shots, but as the fight's gone on, Irias has kind of used some of that experience and just these wild shots to kind of slow Bui down a little bit.
It looks like he just needs to let his hands go.
Yeah, but he's getting in these extended brawls with Irias, and Irias is just real awkward.
You know?
He's a fighter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's just going to come in and
you know, Irias has already had a point deducted, and the referee, James Green, has already had to stop the fight a couple times for instructions, some different things.
You know, sometimes when you're in there and, you know, you hear the crowd and you're there with the fighter, it's hard to, you know, it's hard to pay attention to anything other than what's going on right in front of you.
Irias is just charging ahead still.
yes.
Switched up his stance earlier, sticking with it. Oh. Boy, working these combos, looking crisp.
Yeah, he's a good combo puncher.
This is exactly what I was talking about.
If he just keeps it up, he doesn't have to get into that, right?
Right.
Exactly.
He doesn't have to get into that fight.
Ooh, big right hook from Bui.
Nice.
And a left hand.
Nice. It looks like Bui's doing what I call weather the storm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's the clearly technically superior fighter. But again, you see, Ernesto is just causing these car crashes, and it's just slowing Bui way down.
Right. And it's a hard thing. Once you get into the fight, it's hard to come out of the fight.
Right.
You just want to fight. It's a weird thing. Once you get drawn into that, it's hard to come out.
Right. We were talking about earlier, somebody gets one on you, you want to get it right back.
Right.
Boy's just throwing it. Ernesto's getting popped with some of these shots, but he's still swinging, and he hasn't really shown any sign of going down or anything.
At all. He's fighting.
That's going to do it for the round.
You gotta love him.
Bud Light Fight Night Paradigm Combat Sports 4 in collaboration with Next Fight Up.
Bui's got a little bloody nose over there.
Yeah, it's the dogfight that Irias is making this a dogfight in segments of this fight.
He's making it a great fight. I don't know if Bui expected that.
Yeah, I think, well, again, we were talking about this at the beginning of the fight, but Bui's doing really good at range and in the pocket. It's in that middle ground where he keeps getting caught by Ernesto. Ernesto's just kind of throwing these wide, long, wild shots. And as Bui is trying to exit, he's getting caught in the middle range.
Now, these later rounds are going to show a lot from both fighters. You know, 7-0 versus, I think, 15-8-1.
And I'll tell you right now, even though Bui is way ahead on the scorecards, his O is getting tested right now. I'll tell you that.
It's a huge test.
It's round number 7, scheduled for 8 rounds.
I'm curious also if Bui, what the longest fight before this he had was. Because if his last fight was a 6-rounder and this is an 8-rounder, these last 2 rounds could be very interesting.
Irias is charging ahead still, trying to get him in the corner. Big shots.
Big right hand.
And these beautiful combinations.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Those are shots that get you every time. The ones you don't expect.
Well, this Irias guy is so awkward. His boxing style is just so awkward. It's hard to do traditional slip and rips and stuff because his punches are coming from angles that you're not used to seeing.
It's just sit and punch. Catch and sit, catch and sit.
Right. Draw this.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was talking about that in the pre-fight. Irias does tend to lunge with his shots and get out of position. I would like to see Bui let him get extended and look to counter those shots.
And stay right inside him.
Exactly.
Everything is a looping shot.
I don't think Bui needs to initiate as many of these combinations as he has been, right?
Right. Not the one shot. See, the one shot looking for the one punch. Those right there is what works, what keep Bui out of harm's way.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Irias has Bui in the corner.
He's kind of just sitting there. He needs to get out.
Yeah,
there goes.
It's not a good look for Bui. That huge overhand left.
Yeah, corner.
Hurt Irias.
Corner.
He's got him on the ropes.
But he's fighting back. God, you gotta love him. You gotta love him.
Oh, I mean, it's an exciting fight.
Yes.
He's making it a fun fight, right? I'm certainly not complaining from that perspective.
Not at all.
Less than 1 minute in this 7th round.
I saw Bui just shake out his right hand, might have hurt it. He's been doing most of his damage with that lead hand.
Right.
Good combination. 10 seconds left to go in this round.
Nice right hook there by Bui.
Bui making a statement.
1-2.
Oh.
Nice uppercut. He ended that round much better than he's been ending them, right? The last couple of rounds, he was kind of standing there brawling with Irias.
That's going to do it for round number 7. It's scheduled for 8 rounds. We have Ernesto Irias versus Ephraim Bui. Louisiana versus Texas is the Bud Light Fight Night Paradigm Combat Sports 4 in collaboration with Next Fight Up. streamed around the world on clearlifemedia.com. Right now we're looking at Bui's corner as he gets instructions from his coaches and his corner and the management. And Colin, you mentioned earlier that he had a little bit of a bloody nose, but they're fixing him up over there. It's going into this 8th and final round.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You know what's crazy? Is how you watch these guys take these hits, and when you look at them and look at their faces clean. What's crazy is when you watch these guys take these hits, and then you look at them and their faces clean.
Yeah.
Like, look at Bui's face. It looks like a little kid.
It's pretty amazing how much damage they've taken and still look relatively unfazed.
It's the 8th round. You can see a sense of urgency, actually, with both fighters.
And there should be, right? Because you know Irias is going to put the foot on the gas.
Woo. And you never know. And you never know how the judges are judging.
Right.
You really never wanted to go to a judge, for the most part.
Yeah, and Bui certainly has gotten into a few brawls that he shouldn't have. So you're right. You just never know what the judges are thinking. Although you got to think that with the point deduction, Bui's probably way up on the scorecards. I love these short little uppercuts Bui throws on the inside. It's one of my favorite ways to... Oh, beautiful combination, like a 6-punch combination there from Bui. Jab, lead hook to the body. Irias just kind of continuing with these clubbing style punches.
And as long as you're moving back, you'll run into him every time.
Right, and that's what we've noticed is when Bui's all the way in or he's all the way out, he's not getting caught. But when he's stepping out of range, it's like he loses his defense for a second.
Yeah.
And again, Ernesto landed with like probably 6 or 7 punches there.
Even whenever he's getting hit, Irias is still just coming forward.
Right.
He's still coming forward, charging, got him up against the ropes right now.
Well, that's that experience paying off for him, right? He's also been targeting the body this whole fight.
Right.
And I think
to try and break him down.
Absolutely.
Right now you can hear his corner actually saying body, body, body. Go for the body.
Well, and you can see Bui is slowed way down. His arms are heavy. He's having a hard time keeping his hands up.
Right.
And throwing anything back.
But then he gets a little bit of space and he pops off one of these, like a beautiful combination.
Absolutely.
But these guys tied up.
You gotta love these little guys. You gotta love them.
I mean, Irias just like right down, chugging forward.
Right.
Left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook.
He's punching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No concern for positioning or footwork or stance. Just throwing punch, walking forward, throwing punches.
Throwing leather, as they say.
That's right. He's
10 seconds.
He does this weird thing where he kind of whips his punches.
10 seconds. Wow.
See, this is what we've seen the whole fight. Bui's just getting in these long, extended brawls. Again, I have Bui way ahead on the scorecards. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a unanimous decision here. But
what a fight!
Guys, I did not see the first 2 fights, but if this is any indication of what they were like, PCS 4 is doing it.
We living up to the hype, man.
Is doing it.
Yeah, both fighters, 8 rounds. They all laid it out there. We're going to throw it in a bit to Jeremiah Gallegos, but Colin, what did you see from that fight? Did anything surprise you?
I was a little bit surprised that Bui was brawling as much as he did. He's clearly so much more technical and obviously it was a big step up for him, fighting a much more experienced fighter. But I think that he's going to learn a lot from this fight, and hopefully in his next fight, he learns to pick his shots a little bit more, and he looks a little better over the course of 8 rounds.
He fought. He's a fighter. And Bui took some shots. He's a fighter.
Yeah, and that sometimes you get a really technical guy and they're just all technique and they just don't have that dog in them.
No.
Bui definitely has that dog in him.
Absolutely. Not the case with Bui. That was a great fight.
Absolutely.
It was a great fight. This Arias kid, my God. He just kept coming.
Oh, absolutely. He was totally relentless.
He just kept coming.
Walked through every one of Bui's big shots.
And fighting, not just coming. He kept coming and fighting.
We're tossing it to Jeremiah.
Ladies and gentlemen, here from the GHS Center, a huge round of applause for both of these warriors going the distance of 8 rounds. And now we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have this contest identical, 77-74 to the winner by unanimous decision. He is still undefeated from Houston, Texas, Ephraim the Bui.
Bui looked a little concerned there before they announced that decision.
It was a good fight. I don't know about close, but it was definitely a good fight.
Yeah, he was calling for a first-round KO, and obviously did not get that. Was in for a much tougher of a fight, I think, than what he expected, for sure.
And now 8-0, got the decision victory. How are you feeling right now?
First, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like, he really pushed me through this fight and got me through it. I feel good at this fight. I'm glad I went all 8 rounds my first time. I'd be a little too cocky thinking I'm going to come in. When I hurt them, I feel like I'm going to drop them. So this was a good experience, you know. Got all 8 rounds in. I feel like I'm ready to get back in condition, coming from injury, and get better the next one.
So eight rounds is your first time to go all 8 rounds. What do you want next?
Just whatever my people got for me, you know. I'm going to take on whoever. I'm not scared of nobody. I just know it's more work in the gym, and I'll be ready for the next guy.
Awesome. Congratulations on your win. Thank you.